The human mind. 600 miles of synaptic fiber, 5.5 ounces of cranial fluid, 1,500 grams of complex neural matter. Psychonauts is a game that has been on my radar to play for quite some time. As a fan of platformers and an emerging fan of Double Fine, it was only a matter of time before I tackled this cult classic of a game. My journey with Double Fine began specifically with Day of the Tentacle, but I was kinda surprised to find out that Double Fine didn't make the original. Turns out the founder of Double Fine did, and also worked on some seminal point-and-click adventure games of the time. But after Tim Schafer left LucasArts to found Double Fine, the first game that he worked on was, in fact, Psychonauts. And it was also the first platformer he ever worked on.
They had made games, but very, very different kinds of games. And this is suddenly this new technology, we're making a platformer, and no one knew what they were doing.
If there was one word I could use to describe Psychonauts, it would be... This game is bonkers. Even for a story about going into people's brains, it's insane.
I would never do that. I could never kill everyone.
The sheer amount of ideas that they throw at you, the execution of these ideas, and the creativity around every corner is astounding. And I probably don't have to tell you that, at least in my experience with 3D platformers, the amount of gameplay diversity in here is insane. But before I get too carried away, we should probably go back to the beginning of the story. This is my Psychonauts Experience.
What is it?
It's just a little boy.
So with Raz sneaking into camp after running away from the circus, Mia calls his father to come pick him up. In the meantime, however, we get to do some exploring around the camp before we head to the first class, Basic Braining.
Hey Raz, hurry up! You don't want to be late for Basic Braining!
Woohoo! Basic Braining is the best class ever!
We even have the classic experience of running into the camp bully.
Bobby! Ah!
Side note, these characters are fucking ugly, but they're oozing with personality and charm. They're all so well designed, I feel like I could show you any one of them with little to no context, and you would kind of get the idea of how they behave in the game. The first level is pretty basic, no pun intended, but it does set up pretty well the sense of humor that this game is gonna have. I like how a lot of these standard platforming mechanics tie into Raz's backstory as a circus performer. I also appreciate the time they took to let us have interactions with fellow campers during this first level. Things like guiding Dogen through a minefield because he's too scared,
Follow me. I'll help you through the mines.
or listening to Vernon's unnecessarily long story.
And then we turned right, and then we turned a soft right, and then we turned a deep left, and then we took a side road. And then we stopped and asked for directions. And then Lady had to go to the bathroom, and then Lady saw a gopher, and then Lady had to stop and scratch. And then I begged Al to tie my shoe, and then we walked 3 miles, and then we walked 2 miles, and then we walked 4 miles, and then we walked half a mile, and then we made a U-turn, and then we had a snack, and then we got lost for a while, and then we got attacked by bees, and then I fell down a bathroom and had to reset my old runner back into science, and then we just stood still for a while, and then we walked 3 miles, and then Lady had to stop and scratch, and then we turned right, and then we just stood still for a while, and then we got lost for a while, and then we walked 4 miles, and then we stopped and asked for directions. And then I gave Lady a bone.
Oh no! I guess I'm jumping. Another example of this being Clement Crystal cheering us on while we do a punching minigame. Shut the fuck up! Turns out Raz has the same reaction if you actually talk to them.
Shut up, shut up, shut up!
And the game gives you exactly what you want when you complete the minigame.
Now here's your reward.
We even get to teach this camp bully a lesson a little later on.
End of the line, sucker! Oh!
Wrapping up the level, we get some not so subtle foreshadowing in this creepy hallway.
Hold it right there, son. Now just what in the Sam Hill do you think you're doing in there?
I was just looking for a way out.
I wonder if this crazy psychic war veteran with a secret closet in his brain is gonna be the bad guy. Back to the overworld, now we have to meet up with Agent 9 for some advanced training. No, not that one. This one. But between here and there, now we have the whole camp to explore. We have the kids' cabins area, which we already kind of touched on, the main campgrounds in the parking lot. There's also the lake where we learn about Raz's fear of water and his family being cursed. and the reception area and the wilderness, where we find the GPC, which is where Agent 9's secret lab is. You know, for a tutorial level, they sure did go all out. They really didn't have to do any of this, just some simple target practice would have done, but they use it as an opportunity to actually progress the story and give us more backstory into Agent 9, which is nice. Double Fine really seems to want to drill in the combat system here, which is simple and effective, and really fun to use. Hopping around like a little maniac has never brought me so much joy, especially at later ranks when you unlock a better Psyblast, which bounces between enemies. This dude's a bitch, but like I said, just keep hopping. And with that, we enter Raz's mind, which essentially serves as an interlude between levels at this stage of the game. Unlocking abilities in the real world allows us to progress here. Alright, what the hell is this thing? Oh, that was easy. Which slowly unravels the mystery of what's going on at the campgrounds.
Yep, Mad Brain's got to come out, boy. It's the quickest way to cure what you've got. Insanity of the mind.
But I don't wanna.
Shh. Now hold still. This will only hurt until your brains come flying out.
Get back! No!
I honestly didn't realize at this point that things were changing permanently in the camp. I missed some of the story beats with some of the side characters.
The thing is, Benny, you're never gonna bother me again either way. So you're gonna have to offer something a lot better than that.
At first I was a little upset that these events were only available during a specific window, but it is nice that the game has replay value in this sense. But on the topic of replayability, some of these collectibles are infuriating. Mostly the figments. There are these little 2D sprites that essentially represent a, well, figment of this person's imagination, with some of them moving in and out of walls. No way. Over dangerous pits, and some of them just tucked away in hard places to find. And if all that wasn't enough, they also technically fade in and out of existence. So, if you're running through an area and the figment is in the middle of fading out, you might run right past it without even knowing. I like to draw the comparison to gems in Spyro games. See, it is entirely possible, and sometimes quite common, to get through an entire Spyro level and find that you're missing 1 or 2 gems, and you have no idea where they are because you just went through the entire level. You scoured that bitch. But at least in Spyro, the gems sort of glimmer in the distance, and in later games they have an ability that you can unlock that points you to the nearest gem. Psychonauts has nothing of the sorts. No ability to unlock, no item to buy that helps you find these figments. Personally, a bad collectible can kinda kill replay value. Just don't collect the annoying ones, you say. It's not that simple. I'm a completionist. No figment left behind, soldier! Some perfect examples of annoying figments come in the next mind, Mia's Dance Party. It's essentially another tutorial level, but this time for the levitation ability, and I gotta say, it does a pretty good job of teaching us all the mechanics involved. But about halfway through this level, we get to the race. And the race itself isn't bad. In fact, it's kind of fun. It's another one of those gameplay diversity things I was talking about, but there are multiple paths, the figments blend in with the colors of the tracks sometimes. I think these are the hardest figments to see, and if you miss one, good luck slowly jumping back up or completing the race just to go back down again. If you're 100%ing, you'll be here a while. Completing this part of the game is a chore, to say the least. So much so that on my first pass, I honestly just said screw it, I'll come back to this place later. And now finally we can see what's going on in Raz's mind. Hit that stink sack, float on up to the top floor of the Thorny Towers, and bam!
Why are you screaming? All right, I remember.
Oh god.
Oh, good boy. There's that pesky brain. Here's a tissue.
I actually like this boss fight. That was loud as fuck. Hello? Up until the little brain in the glass jar segment, I mean, it's kind of janky. In my playthrough of Psychonauts, I found that the levitation jump plus a ground slam was very effective in beating pretty much any enemy or boss that I came across.
Is this a nightmare? Or a plan? Or both? Wait a minute.
And with that, our suspicions are confirmed. Coach Oleander has a sinister plan and has started stealing children's brains. Go figure. I mean, I kinda like that the game doesn't seem to want to waste our time or try to hide an obvious twist. We know who the bad guys are, and it's our job to stop them.
Bobby! Uh-oh. Look, I can explain. TV.
This game has already been a wild ride, with kids' brains getting stolen, a madman broadcasting his thoughts across the camp, and psychic animals. And we're just getting started. With Nine and Mia out on official Psychonauts business, it's up to Lily and Raz to save the day.
Let's make out!
What?
Oh no! You didn't just hit my boyfriend!
Lily!
Well, there goes that. Actually, another really cool and creative boss fight. I like how Raz's fear of water is still represented here. It makes it feel like they really put a lot of thought into the characters and the world that they're in. This boss can be kind of clunky sometimes though, especially in the chase sequence. Which way are we going now? This way? Ow. This fucking... No! Clunky is a common theme in these boss battles. For a first time playthrough, it got to me sometimes. I honestly don't know if I could have beat this game as a kid, and if I did, it would have taken me a lot longer. But we get to finish up this fight with the classic headlamp and the oyster strategy, and head into the Lungfish's mind for possibly one of the best levels in this entire game. Wow. This is what he's thinking of right now? Dreaming of?
Ah, good to hear. Not a one of us want any trouble, that's for sure.
Oh my god, no! I'm the monster! I love this level. If anything, I feel like it's the peak of this game's comedy. The fact that they let you smush these little civilians, the lines that they yell out as you rampage through their city.
It's okay, everyone. Gongalor missed the orphanage. Oh my god! The orphanage!
And the plot of helping a lungfish resistance overthrow a tyrannical dictator and the citizens he's brainwashed. Yeah.
Hey, Gongalor! Down here! Ah! Ow! My ears! Ah! Oh my god! Ah! He's dead.
I will admit, it's not flawless. Raz's character for some reason is a lot slower. I mean, I get it, it's because he's big. But it's the only level where you can't use the levitation ability, and it's the first level after we get the levitation ability. It's kind of bizarre. That mixed with these oddly placed broadcasts, the hell? And the fact that these lines eventually repeat themselves.
My cheese shop! I don't think that's gonna work. Here comes Cochamera! No! My outlet store! Hey everyone! Here comes Cochamera! Outlet store! My cheese shop!
Does kind of dampen the experience. The only saving grace is that you can log on and hop a little faster. We have a kaiju-esque boss battle at the end against a mental implant version of the coach called Cochamera. I like the parody of this character, and the fact that he yells out all of his attacks before he actually does them is pretty funny. This whole time, I couldn't help but think about this game that my friends and I played just a couple months earlier. Actually though, this game was pretty cool. If you want me to make a video on this game, just let me know down in the comments below. I would gladly cover Daemon X Machina. After clearing the Lungfish's mind, we absolve our differences and we arrive on the asylum grounds. And let me tell you, these levels are banger after banger. The first character we meet is Boyd, the security guard.
Huh? Who are you working for?
What? I'm with the Psychonauts.
The who? Oh, that doesn't fit in. That doesn't fit in at all. Maybe I've got this all wrong.
Who keeps rambling on about the milkman.
You gotta let me in. My friend's in there.
Sorry, the milkman has the key. I am not the milkman. I'm the guard.
Where's the milkman?
I'll bet he's sleeping on the job. His milk is delicious. Everybody wants it. He'll be here soon. Then the lies will end.
We have to go into Boyd's mind first, to figure out who the hell the milkman is and where he put the key to this gate. Let me tell you, this is another level that I can absolutely gush about. In some ways it feels like a proto Mario Galaxy level, but with a big emphasis on puzzle aspects. Just be careful where you jump. Initially I was a little annoyed by these houses having fixed camera perspectives. This is messed up. Alright, let's get the heck out of here. I can't handle this fixed camera angle stuff anymore. Because it kind of threw me for a loop and it was hard to navigate around them at times. But I realized that this helps, at least thematically, with the idea that Boyd is paranoid and thinks he's being watched at all times. So we'll just chalk this up to execution. But on that note, they really hammer in the idea that we're being watched. Even these little Girl Scouts creepily follow us around. Anyways, the goal of this level is to find various objects which let us join certain groups, such as the road crew.
I am on the road crew. This is my stop sign.
I worked my way all the way up to this building with the pin pad, only to find that I actually needed the cobweb duster. Alright, do I just need the cobweb duster now? I think I straight up just need the cobweb duster. Damn, that sucks. Oh, I honestly thought the cobweb duster was something we would get by just accumulating arrowheads along our journey. But no, you actually do have to kind of go out of your way with the dowsing rod to find some of these deposits because they give you a ton of arrowheads. So all the way back to the campgrounds we go to find some deposits of arrowheads. What the fuck? Ah! Oh, I'm so damn close. Holy shit. Oh my goodness. We finally fucking did it.
Oh, that's my last cobweb duster.
Take it.
Alrighty then.
Alright, cobweb duster time. Well, back here we are. And this leads us to the plunger, which allows us to delve even deeper into Boyd's mind. But first, a random mini-boss out of nowhere. This game's placement of these bosses is far from traditional, and I honestly love it. It is unfortunate that these guys, who are called nightmares, don't really show up in any other levels, but to be fair, I don't think I'd be very pleased if I had to fight this guy 20 times throughout the game. Maybe if he had some traits that were specific to the mind that he appeared in, it could work, but I'm just making stuff up at that point. What the
They
fuck?
got Freddy. Poor Freddy. He was such a good secret agent. I mean, assassin. Who is shooting at us?
You'd think this section right here would require me to use invisibility to sneak through, but I guess we're dealing with the world's best sniper here. Nope, it's actually the shield that you use here, and it's honestly pretty nice that they keep all these abilities relevant throughout the game. A lesser game would forget all about these, but not Psychonauts. Another thing to mention, this building here, the ground floor, which we spent a total of maybe 20 seconds in, is decorated meticulously. It's a really nice touch that makes the world feel more alive. I feel like there's a lot of small details that you can take for granted in Psychonauts. Like this helicopter scene. They didn't really have to add it, technically, but doing so just adds more charm, character, and style to the game. And this finally leads us to the Milkman. He's buried on some faraway island, which just so happens to be the Girl Scouts headquarters? Weird. A few clever tricks and we can sneak right on in. But this is where the level comes to a head.
To make the world prettier. To share candy with everyone. To
What is wrong with this guy's brain?
Of the milkman. To protect the milkman at all costs.
Oh my god.
You brought them here!
This lady kind of reminds me of Powerpuff Girls for some reason. Nothing really of note in this boss fight. It was my least favorite in the game, but it is one of the only places we get to use the clairvoyance ability proactively.
I am the milkman. My milk is delicious.
See? Shall run white with is rage.
Uh-oh.
I am the milkman. My milk is delicious. Special delivery today.
Freeing the milkman changes Boyd in the real world and sets him on a mission to burn down the asylum.
Is that milk regular kind? Or the exploding dream kind?
It's fortified with what the world wants. What the world deserves.
Are you sure you don't want to just talk about this, Boyd?
Joker moment. And thanks to the milkman, we have access to the whole building now. Oh look! Our first brain! What's this? Oh, a brain!
How'd this little doggy get out of the pen?
Ah! Now we have 3 different minds to explore. Basically, we have to complete each of these levels to get an item that helps us disguise Raz as Dr. Loboto so we can get past this guy, Crispin Whitehead.
So if I'm not mistaken, you're not Dr. Loboto, you don't pay my salary, so kindly back away from my elevator and die. Thank you, sir.
Into Napoleon.
This part of the game, to me, seemingly draws the most from Tim Schafer's beginnings in the point-and-click adventure genre. I mean, this whole concept just reminds me of The Mummy from Day of the Tentacle. The first level I tackled was Edgar's. Here in the ostracized wrestler's mind, try saying that 5 times fast, we find him trying to build a stack of cards to reach this woman in the sky. And even if he could get close, this bull keeps rampaging through, ruining all of his progress. But can I just take a second to mention how fucking beautiful this level is? I mean, part of me wishes that every level had some sort of stylization like this one does, but I don't mind this one being unique in that regard. So now it's our job to find all the queen cards, and it's quite the process. These dogs sell us paintings that have ladders, or vines that we can climb, or a little window that teleports us to a different part of the level. And if you thought I was low on arrowheads before, let me just say, I went bankrupt a couple times during this level. 75? Not enough. How much do I have?
Yes, run! Run from the horror! Well, maybe you can write it off on your taxes as a loss. A catastrophic loss.
Anyways, making our way through the aforementioned streets, we occasionally find one of these queen cards, guarded by a wrestler. Gameplay-wise, this part of the level can be kind of annoying, with the bull running around and whatnot, and I don't think there's a level with more sensor concentration than this one right here. It's like they're around every fucking corner, and even moving a slight distance away usually resets their spawns.
No.
Don't cancel me! Another one. But honestly though, the wrestler fights are pretty easy. Oh shit, what the fuck? Cut that out, you're scaring me. Ah! I found the levitation ability mixed with the ground slam to be very effective until I reached the snake guy, where it took me a little bit to realize that I had to confuse him in order to damage him. I should also mention that this level has probably one of my favorite lines of dialogue ever.
This painting reminds me of my grandpa's last year alive. Just one terrible stroke on top of another.
Holy shit. But Psychonauts doesn't really shy away from more mature jokes and subject matters. Like, to me, this level represents being stuck in a loop or a spiral of depression. See, we find out that the woman in the sky used to be Edgar's girlfriend, and he lost her to Dedgar. Oh no. She fell in love with Dedgar. Spoiler, Edgar is also the bull, which just adds to the metaphor that he, in his own mind, is keeping himself down. After retrieving all the queen cards so Edgar can finish his stack, we move on to the final boss of this area, subduing Edgar as the bull. Part of me wishes there was a wrestler segment to this boss fight, considering all of his past friends were wrestlers, he was a wrestler. I felt it could have fit a little more, but I don't know. But Dingo here doesn't want to just subdue him. No. He wants to kill him. I actually really like the concept of this boss fight, initially attacking one character only to realize that he's in danger and we have to save him and kill the real boss. It's pretty cool. It's pretty unique. Pretty nifty, if I do say so myself. I thought it was pretty interesting, but again, it was a little clunky. I mean, the telekinesis ability, at least with the keyboard and mouse, is pretty clunky as it is, but trying to use it in a tense situation like a boss fight, it just adds. Next up is Gloria. I mean, the hook we need to complete Dr. Lobato's look is right here. Can we just take it?
Oh, you found my old trophy. I should really put that thing away before somebody hurts themselves on that gleaming metal claw-like part on the top. Say, would you like to hear the story of how I won that award, dear boy? Or are you trying to take it because you don't think I deserve it?
Nope. Maybe if I turn invisible. Nope. Alright, well, into her mind we go, I guess. In Gloria's mind, she's portrayed by Benita in these plays that depict her life. We get a deeper look into Gloria's history this way, and it's pretty tragic, honestly. Yes, we get it. She's beautiful, wonderful, has a trophy. Is crying about, oh no. When we arrive in Gloria's mind, Bonita has lost all motivation, bringing the play to a halt. The inner voice of Gloria, this theater critic, and a mysterious force, the Phantom, don't help with this at all. I mean, this Phantom is literally sabotaging the play every time Bonita comes out. Oh my god.
Great, well, I'm off to go kill myself.
What the fuck? So of course we gotta cycle through these plays, learn more about Gloria / Bonita in the process, and fight our way up to the catwalks. We also have to change the mood for these scenes by hitting this light. This whole experience overall was the worst part of the level for me, especially when Raz brings out the megaphone and for some reason the audio just blasts into your ears for no reason. Oh my god. Yeah. Also, hitting this light thing plays the full animation every single time and there's no way to skip it.
Great, well, I'm off to go kill myself.
I'll spare you guys though, let's just go straight up to the catwalk. Up here, the Phantom shouts pretty rude things at us.
You are not welcome here.
Damn, bro. Don't think I asked you. And it's obvious that it's just the critic in disguise, but you wouldn't think that because of the appearance. I mean, these two characters look nothing alike. In fact, I really thought that it was gonna be Bonita sabotaging her own play. Kind of like how Edgar was self-sabotaging. Part of this theory was due to the Phantom and Gloria looking pretty similar in terms of shape. And also the tail end of the Phantom looks very similar to Gloria's dress. I was gonna say, maybe it's Gloria, but then I was like, no way it's Gloria. But then I thought, what if it's Gloria's like alter self? You know, like an equivalent to borderline personality disorder.
Okay, Phantom, it's time to find out who you really are.
No way. Oh, okay. I guess it's not her. If I had to guess, I would just say the critic is a part of Gloria's mind and therefore they are technically the same character. Here's the game's dark humor added again.
Just like Gloria's mother.
Wow, dude. Holy shit. Not okay. The boss fight in this level is pretty cool, although a little repetitive, and it's more about the minions that he spawns rather than his own attacks. I really like the touch of the critic's scathing one-word reviews being shot at you. It's not the most inventive boss fight, but it does make callbacks to several other mechanics, including lighting these candles again. I feel like what could have elevated this fight is if they not only kept the candles, but also kept the mood lighting apparatus to maybe affect the fight in some way. Maybe he can only take damage in the happy lighting or something like that, I don't know. But with the critic defeated, he shrinks down to this little dude and neither he nor the Phantom can bother Gloria's conscience anymore. I should mention that I went back to Black Velvetopia at this point. Like a fool, I thought this picture of Dr. Lobato was going to be used in the level for some reason and not as a part of Raz's disguise. Oh well, may as well take the time to finish this level while we're here, I guess. This is where I got my first taste of what 100%ing this game is like. Tedious. Like they expect me to know that putting this window painting here will give me one figment. It'd be one thing if it led to like a secret area or something, but no, it's just a fucking Black Ops zombie window. Coming back to this level did allow me to find an actual secret area though, Edgar's garden. I just got an achievement called Look at Those Plants. For you.
Hey, I just think it's great that you took that ass kicking I handed to you and turned that defeat into something positive. Like gardening.
Finally, we have Fred, who's a direct descendant of Napoleon Bonaparte. His level also sort of deals with obsession and loss, but in a kind of different way. Fred's is more direct, I think, and revolves around him losing a game to Crispin and not being able to cope. Now, I know Milkman Conspiracy is one of the most beloved worlds in this game, and for a good reason, but I gotta say, I was wildly impressed by Fred's level. First of all, these transitions are beautiful. I mean, look at this shit. What the fuck? I've been so caught up in other elements of this game, I haven't even mentioned the music. The music is amazing, and it's no surprise that the same composer who worked on Day of the Tentacle also worked on this game. Not to say that they're incredibly similar soundtracks, but there's little touches here and there that really remind me of Day of the Tentacle. My only gripe with this level is that it's home to by far the worst enemy in the game. These little fuckers. They snipe you across the map, and for a while I thought they were just invulnerable, until I realized that you had to light them on fire with pyrokinesis. Also, this level does have some pretty annoying figments, but it was more on me this time because I didn't realize that you could punch these things to knock the figments down, and I thought you had to somehow get on top of the trees. Like, now I only have 4 left, and they're all over on those trees, I'm pretty sure. I have no idea how to get on top of them. Maybe from over here? Holy shit. Please tell me this is it. Come on. My god, it's so frustrating. It's so sad that I found this method, and it's just a worse way of getting these figments. If this was somehow faster, awesome. I just discovered like a speedrun strat or some shit like that, but no. This is just fucking pathetic. Biggest dumbass moment of the video. In my defense though, there aren't any other figments in the game, as far as I remember, that involve you interacting with the actual environment in order to collect them. What the fuck? Let's see if this works. Oh my god, it works. Oh, I just got chills. Oh my god. I really like the execution of this level, shrinking down so we can solve these people's problems and advance the board game. And not only that, you can actually move the pieces on your own with your telekinesis when you're in the intermediate stage. I will say though, this is the first level where I noticed that the hover mechanic is kind of finicky. Let's see if this still does this weird shit. Yeah, like what the fuck? Why does it drop me so fast? That's insane. I wasn't sure if it was just something I was doing, but the loss of momentum here was kind of weird. Another really cool small detail that the developers didn't have to include. Once we complete all the objectives, we can clear this little castle area and move the knight in, finishing the level. I was actually really expecting to have to fight Napoleon and his giant walker thing, like if he baby rages because we beat him at the game or something like that, which actually would have been really cool, and it's kind of disappointing that we don't get to fight him, but it's alright. Just proves my previous statement that you can't really expect a boss fight anywhere in this game. We went from 3 boss fights in Boyd's Mine to 5 in Edgar's to 1 in Gloria's to 0 in Fred's, but this does bring us to the end of the level. And with that, we can fully disguise Raz as Dr. Lobato and make our way up to the Thorny Towers, home for the Disturbed.
Greetings, Dr. Lobato. Good to see your face. I see you're wearing your favourite jacket. If I may say so, your claw is looking especially menacing today. Up to the secret laboratory then, is it? Picking her up yourself this time, eh, Doctor? Less work for me.
Inmate Whitehead.
Chief Orderly Bonaparte. You're
armed.
I'd better start hiking.
Yeah. Oh, shh. So, here we are, the upper floors of the asylum, and things already aren't right. There's this odd, timid character that keeps ducking away every time we get close. Second worst enemy in the game, by the way.
Rats, we're rats. We're the rats. We pray at night, we stalk at night. We're the rats.
They deal so much damage and confuse you, which makes climbing these upper levels a slog. There's also a lot of collectibles, including brains here, so I had to keep my eye out for that. They do also have some more good uses of the abilities here, like using the invisibility so this crow doesn't press this button. This leads us directly to Dr. Lobato's lab where he's holding Lily hostage. He also managed to get the minds of Sasha and Mia somehow, and this mysterious character from before is Dr. Lobato's reluctant assistant because he's holding her pet turtle hostage, and his name's Mr. Pokelope? Whatever, man. After convincing Shigor that we can help, we break out Mr. Pokelope so we can fucking kill Dr. Lobato. Fucking murdered him. Straight up, he's dead. And then we get Agent 9 and Mila's brains back. Here is where the shit hits the fan. And no, I'm not talking about some weird plot point or something like that. I'm talking about this stupid fucking mechanic right here. At the time, I wasn't really sure what the full implications would be, but the fact that it's triggered by simply freeing Lily with no warning and no chance to save beforehand is ridiculous. Anyways, some cutscenes later, we fight this massive brain tank hosting Coach Oleander's brain. This fight gets points for using a lot of abilities and being pretty creative, and it's interesting. Kind of reminds me of Dingo Dial, but it suffers from the aforementioned clunkiness. The objective is to burn these planks down after clearing a path from these rocks, dodging or blocking the incoming attacks. Also, we can essentially bash Oleander's skull in. However, unfortunately, upon breaking the dome, turns out there's some super sneezing powder in here, and well, you can guess what happens next. Now we have only one option, to merge our brain with Coach Oleander's in the brain tank. What's the worst that could happen? Oh god. It's hard to say this. It really is. No, not because I don't want to upset fans. I know the sentiment is pretty much the same, but nope, it's because I've enjoyed everything else so much so far. It's been a great game up until this point. You know what I'm gonna say? The Meat Circus is a huge disappointment. Some people have touted an extreme spike in difficulty, but me, personally, I just kind of find it annoying. I mean, sure, there is a difficulty spike, but it's not that bad in my opinion. It's just, this guy, Ollie, fucking shut up, dude. Shut the fuck up.
Hey, that hurts! Ow! Hey, that hurts! Hey, that hurts! Ow!
At least we don't have to deal with it for very long. Sliding on into the next section, we have a fight against Ollie's mental version of his dad, a towering, horrifying butcher. A bit of an unfortunate thing happened in this boss battle for me. I had the right solution, run up his arm, hit him in the head, and deal damage, but before I actually got there, I slid off and thought I was wrong. So I ran around this arena for like 5 minutes, not knowing what to do. After this fight, we get to meet Raz's father, or rather, his mental version of his father. I think I said it best here. Goddamn. This last place is like a fucking gauntlet. Here, the water rises as we traverse the level, and follow Raz's dad as he throws shit at us. I assume this is where the aforementioned difficulty spike is, because this was probably the hardest part of the game for me. But I feel like this is partially because the level design is just kind of bullshit. Like, look at this. And this. You expect me to just wiggle around so I can dodge this shit? I guess so. And now we gotta deal with the dads together. Can't climb on his arm since his cleaver's on fire. This boss fight confused me in the moment because throwing the spikes at this dude didn't always work. I thought maybe I'd have to get him to step on them, but no. Oh, and then I hit him in the head. There we go. I would say this is probably the peak of clunkiness in this game, but I'm honestly not even confident in that statement. And yeah, that takes care of that. Yeah, that's right. Right into the fucking grinder, bitch. We find out all along, the guy who's been saying Raz's name 1,000 fucking times throughout this level was actually Raz's dad trying to break through and help. But the conversation is cut short because we aren't done yet. Now the mind dads have merged, and they're even scarier than ever. What the hell is this? We get to be Big Raz again, and thank fucking God, because I could not take another janky ass fight. This is honestly just pretty easy. We just kind of wait until we get big and then beat the shit out of him. It is what it is, though.
And so, that brings us to the end, where, as you can clearly see, the personal demons causing my negative behavior have all been eradicated, leaving me sane once again. This is also corroborated in CAT scan number 3 on page 59 of your handouts. On a personal note, I would just like to reiterate how extremely, extremely sorry I am for stealing all of your brains and trying to take over the world. Mistakes have been made.
Whew. What a wild ride. Well, what was that point of no return bullshit about again? How do I get back to the real world? I didn't collect everything in the overworld. Pause. So, while editing this video, I found that a lot of my grievances with the point of no return were technically uncalled for. I was doing research on it for some background footage and found this. That's right, there's an autosave set for right before when you free Lily. And the worst part is, I definitely saw this, but the way the game labels it the point of no return, I was under the impression that it would actually take us back to the tank fight for some reason. I am going to keep a lot of my rants about the point of no return in here just because that was my experience, but know that I am aware and it technically could have been avoided. My bad. I decided at this point that I should just go back through the levels, collect whatever I missed, and search for an exit into the overworld at the same time. After all, I just finished the asylum and the meat circus and I didn't feel like loading up a previous save just to go back through them again, you know? So I figured the most likely one to have an exit was the brain tumbler, considering it's kind of like Raz's mind. And I also took the time to get the bacon achievement, which basically just requires you to use the bacon over and over again. And I just had to go through all the options since I didn't really use it in the game at all. But pretty soon I had all the collectibles, and out of all the things I found, an exit was not one of them. So, like any good Let's Player, I googled the solution. Enter Lungfishopolis. Head on down to the end of the level, find the tallest tower where the airplanes are flying around, climb it, now jump over to the island where you fight Kochamara, and use your Psyblast to slow your fall so you can reach it. Not quite. It isn't the easiest thing to do. We can do it! Oh, I did it, I think. Holy shit. See, this ladder is hard-coded to take you to the real world. Next up, we have all the scavenger hunt items, which I actually thought were going to be a lot harder to get. Not complaining or anything, they were a well-executed collectible, but I kinda expected to have to do some crazy bullshit to get some of them. There honestly isn't much that separates collecting the scavenger hunt items, the Psy cards, and the Psy challenge markers. If you're collecting one, you're bound to be collecting all the others because they're kinda just in the same vicinity as each other. So that's what I did, and that wraps up the overworld. If I had just taken like another 30 minutes to complete this stuff, the point of no return honestly wouldn't have been that big of a deal. It's just that it's an unexpected thing that they just thrust upon you. Let me walk you through these achievements. Some of them come with progression in the game, such as beating a level or ranking up. There's also one for getting all the Psy badges, which I don't think you can beat the game without doing so that one's a given. Anyways, in the overworld, Camp Gossip is achieved by reading this bulletin over and over again, as is Slice of History from reading this tree stump in the parking lot. Rebraining all the campers is another thing that makes me despise the point of no return. We collect all these brains on the way to the top of the asylum, and the game never really gives us an indication that we should go back and turn them in immediately. In fact, it urges us to carry on.
We can bring them back to their owners immediately.
Ahem.
Immediately after we break young Ms. Zanado here out of her restraints.
And look at what they took from us.
And that's why we have to find Lily right away.
That is some crazy stuff, guys. I'm kinda glad I was out for most of it. Well, with the world ending and everything, I should probably go see what girls want to make out one last time.
So I said, Brainer? I don't even know her.
Crystal!
No, I promise you, you didn't drool at all.
Is Milka okay?
Yeah, she's waiting for you down by the docks.
Gotcha.
Hey, do you want to help us save the... Okay, is making out all anyone thinks about in this place? Scared? You better believe I was scared. You'd have to be a fool not to be. But the trick is to never let them see you sweat.
Wow, I guess that's what those squirrels were trying to tell me.
Huh?
They kept saying, the tiny man is gonna kill everyone. I thought they were talking about me. Oh man, I have to go apologize.
And so that's what happened to your brain.
Wow, what an amazing story. I mean, that is a really, really good story. And you know what the best part is? I'm in it. I better go write that whole thing down before we all get killed.
I actually wouldn't be surprised if some people who've beaten this game didn't even know that this was in here. It is a nice touch, but it just kind of gets undermined by the whole point of no return thing. Now we have more collectibles, who could have guessed? Revisiting all these worlds gives you the Victory Tour achievement. I won't bog down the video with this part. I already mentioned how monotonous the 100%ing aspect of this game is, but I think what really illustrates it is my playtime. See, beating the main plot of the game took me about 14-15 hours. Go ahead and guess how long it took me to get all these achievements. Did you guess 18 hours? It's about how long it took. The reason that was because after I completed all these levels, figured I'd do Lungfishopolis last. Maybe if I get grabbed by the water, it'll take me over to this other side. Oh yeah, I forgot I can't fucking do shit. No, am I stuck here forever? You're shitting me. I didn't finish Lungfishopolis, and I'm stuck here because I did the exploit. So yeah, it probably wouldn't have taken 18 hours, but I had to go back and do all the collecting that I already did, literally 100% of all the levels except for Lungfishopolis, and I had to go back and do it again, a second time. If I sound a little more jaded about having to go collect all this stuff, this is probably the reason why. But doing so got me no more secrets, happy bags, and Figgy Piggy, the achievements for getting all the vaults, baggage, and figments in all the levels. Also going back to basic braining and fully completing the punching minigame gives us another level, and that plus all the stuff from the overworld gets us to level 101, the max rank. Some more niche achievements, we have this one in Mia's dance party. This one's a dark one, but I like how it was handled. The idea that this memory is locked away where hopefully no one will ever find it, pretty sad, honestly.
What are you doing down here? The party is upstairs. Lucky for you, I have my nightmares under control. These things can take you to a world of pain directly. Now quick, let's get back to the party, okay? Darling, if you're looking for the makeout room, you've come to the wrong place.
Help us, Mila.
There's also the stump speech, which we get from using interact on the stump from the opening cutscene. Self-awares by using clairvoyance on non-enemy characters, so you can see how they perceive you. Pretty interesting. I do like that they put a lot of effort into this. This is literally not even a thing they had to do at all, but it's just a little... They have so many cherries on top. It's just all fucking cherries. You get holiday dinner by cooking a squirrel with pyrokinesis and then a bird. I think they were impressed is another one that gets cut off by the point of no return. You have to do this while Mr. Pokelope is in your inventory, so don't give him back to Shigor. You also need to have all the children rebrained because the achievement is to show Mr. Pokelope to all the campers. It's such an odd and small window to get this, like who the hell is gonna get Mr. Pokelope and then run all the way back to camp randomly? There's also Christmas shopping, which you get from buying an item from the camp store on Christmas Day. I just changed my system's time. The only achievements we have left are the ones for the side plots. So, one is to listen to another Vernon story, easy enough. Made Man involves a part of Maloof's story, which we got a glimpse of earlier. It does make a lot more sense this way, instead of stumbling upon the once timid Maloof acting like a mob boss randomly.
First, Bobby and Benny locked me in the girls' shower, then they wouldn't let me out of the toilet. Now they won't let me in any of the toilets. And in between, there was a lot of punching.
No, then we locked you in the GPC.
Maloof forfeits place in bear wrestling line. As repayment for courtesy, bullying now forbidden. All bullies acknowledge, please.
Get bent, Kami. I'm gonna take your...
Call next move Deadly Nelson. When screaming starts, eyeball may pop out of bully head. Standing back suggested.
Okay! I won't touch him! Jeez!
And finally we have Maybe It's the Hair, which is about Bobby and Chloe dating, kind of. I had no idea this was even happening. As bad as it feels to miss this stuff and to have to jump through these hoops to get to experience it at all, I do have to reiterate that I'm just glad that it's in the game, period. I just wish going back through the game felt worth it. Oh, and I almost forgot, there's one more achievement. I'm gonna live forever. This one is actually another collectible achievement for the golden helmets. I thought I got all of those. You gotta be fucking kidding me. I missed one in Black Velvetopia, and you can only get it during a specific window. So yeah, actually I just started a new save file for this one and speed ran my way up to Black Velvetopia, making sure to collect all the golden helmets along the way. Basically, you just gotta confuse a bowl so this painter can run out into the street and paint the ad, and then Dingo gives you the helmet. That's what I missed. All in all, Psychonauts is a fantastic game. Amazing writing, a killer soundtrack, interesting characters, fun boss fights, great world and level design, but it's all bogged down a little bit by some of the most extreme collectathon bullshit I've ever seen. And I love collectathons. Even setting aside the point of no return, some of the hoops you gotta jump through for some of these figments are a bit ridiculous. There just comes a point where it's a bit much. The collectibles are too annoying, and trying to get them all just takes too long. Alright, well, that's the end of the video. Obviously, if you got this far, I'm gonna assume you at least somewhat enjoyed the video, at least I hope. I don't normally ask for this type of stuff, but if you want to subscribe and like the video, I don't like putting it, towards the beginning and whatnot, because I think it's annoying and distracting, but, if you got this far, I would appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed already. Cat hair. This video took a lot longer and ended up being a lot longer than I wanted it to be. I mean, I remember wanting to release this video a month and a half ago. I don't know. Parts of it were just a little too daunting for me. I was in a little over my head for some aspects of this video, but I'm very happy with how it turned out. I'm completely done editing it now, aside from tacking this little outro on. Just gonna set the premiere for the video, and yeah, hopefully people show up for the premiere. I'm gonna cry if no one shows up. It'd be like sending out birthday invitations and no one shows up to your party. This is bigger than any birthday I've ever had, and it's not even my birthday. I am not 100% sure what I'm gonna do next. I'm thinking maybe Control. I'm also thinking maybe Stranger Things. I know so far I've only done gaming stuff, but this is not strictly a gaming channel. It's a media channel. We'll call it that. I'll talk about whatever the fuck I want, Anyways, I don't want to ramble on too long. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, stick around, please, because this is only the beginning, and I'm hoping I can accomplish a lot more. And even though I'm happy with this video right now, I just want to improve, get better, do better, hopefully be faster. It shouldn't take two months for me to make a video, and most videos will not be 50 minutes long. Sorry if you like 50-minute long videos. I do have another channel that isn't like heavily edited stuff. It's like roguelite runs and stuff like playthrough footage over on that channel. And that reminds me that the playthrough for Psychonauts is going to start going up as soon as this video goes up. It'll just be released in parts, probably like hour to an hour and a half long parts. If you like longer videos, go check that channel out. Again, they're not edited or heavily edited like this one is. Some of them have a little cut or a little joke tossed in here or there, but they're not anything like this. So don't go in expecting that. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Later.